Hey guys, welcome back to an interesting video on Wild Rift. So today we're back with a Twitch updated complete guide, of course, for the latest patch 5.2c, where we have, of course, the big changes to lethal tempo, to shield bow, items like that, and we will, of course, see Twitch take advantage of both of these changes. So, of course, as usual, don't forget to check out Twitch's basic guide. I'll put up in the cards above for his skills, diving order tips and tricks, as well as a couple of combos. But with that said, let's actually jump straight into it. So first up, take a look at the item build. Not very much has changed. So a lot of Twitches, you guys can see, they like to take the attack speed boots, attack speed boots, attack speed boots. But I personally think that the Gluttonous Greaves is actually better. I'm not a big fan of attack speed boots for the most part, because I think that you get a lot of value with the Omnivamp and the AD from the Gluttonous Greaves. So I like to take the Gluttonous Greaves as a first item personally, and then I like to go into Borg. So some people, let's see if we have any of them here. Yep, so some people like to start with Runan's Hurricane as the first item. Now I tried this myself. I think it's pretty horrible because you have no damage. Runan's Hurricane barely gives you any damage, whereas Borg does give you that drain passive, which actually increases your damage by a lot. So I like to go from the Gluttonous Greaves into the Bork to, of course, get the Vamp, get the two passives, and of course the on-hit damage, the attack speed, the attack damage, and this is going to be a really good first item. And then second item, of course, this is where Runan's Hurricane comes in, more attack speed, but most importantly, gives you the passive to attack 3 people at the same time, which is going to allow you to stack your passive onto 3 people simultaneously. Of course, also gives you a little bit of AD and on-hit damage. And then this is where you go into the Terminus. Terminus, of course, 40 AD, which is basically the most AD you're going to get out of your first couple of items. So 40 AD, 30% attack speed, magic damage on hit, as well as, of course, gaining the stacking resistances and stacking pen as you are attacking. So then for your second last item is going to be Wit's End, which is going to give you attack speed, magic resist, as well as the on-hit magic damage and healing when you're low on health. So obviously on hit all synergizes with each other. And finally, as your last item, this is where the change comes in, is Shield Bow last item. Now why? Because as we now know, Shield Bow now scales off of level and not crit. So by the time you get Shield Bow last item, you're gonna be like max level at this point. So you're gonna get a 550 shield, whereas previously you would only get a 375 shield, which is significantly worse. So it also gives you some very nice stats of like damage, crit, attack speed, and a little bit more vamp. Now you could also instead go for Bloodthirster, which is gonna outright give you a lot more damage. Here's like 50 AD plus like 25 extra AD, which is like 75 AD, the most AD you can get on an item. You could go for this one as well. And also you could go for Maw as the last item if you're into very heavy magic damage. You're gonna have double magic resist items here, and GA is also always an option, of course. Now for your runes, of course, it's going to be lethal tempo to get the attack speed and the attack range now. Brutal, of course, because you auto attack a lot. Giant Slayer, in my opinion, is still the best rune, because coup de grace is just too weak. And here you can go for attack speed or you can go for lifesteal, both. You kind of already have both, so either one kind of works. Sudden impact here, very important for that extra damage when you come out of your stealth. And for the spells, generally go for Flash together with Ghost, but you can also opt for Exhaust if it's really needed. But with all that said, let's jump into our gameplay. Okay, so let's take a look at the gameplay. But of course, before we jump into it, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Any questions, queries, or remarks, feel free to leave them in the comments below, and I'll of course be sure to address them. So you guys can already see from the title that this is going to be a banger. This is one of the very few matches that I did over 50% of my team's damage. I think to date it's like only the third match I've played in like 3 years of Wild Rift that's the case. So here we get into a little bit of an early skirmish, and we're getting just whacked basically by the Ashe and the Lulu, because obviously you can see here we have a Yuumi, which is one of Twitch's best supports. Lulu and Yuumi obviously are Twitch's best supports, can help him get through the early game, and then also of course buff him up in the late game and pretty much just destroy people. But yeah, it's a little bit rough with Yuumi in the early game, especially if the Yuumi never detaches. Now something Yuumi can actually do is, after pressing the E onto you, she can actually detach and auto attack, because obviously at level 1 Ashe does not have ult and Lulu did not take the polymorph, so there's no way that Yuumi can actually die. So Yuumi can actually detach and help you auto attack, which of course most Yumi players do not do. You only really see the top Yumi players ever even dare to detach and actually help out the ADC, or even detach and block a Caitlyn ult, for example. But anyways, we're not here to talk about Yumi, we're here to talk about Twitch. So you can see the main reason that Twitch Yumi is really good. Again, we're kind of talking about Yumi, but one of the main reasons Twitch Yumi is very good is because even when Twitch gets completely chunked out, like what you guys saw here, you don't necessarily have to recall. Yumi can actually heal you back up. You just need to kind of play safe. And like this, just lifesteal off of the minions with the help of the Yumi E. And here you can see that the Lulu is actually playing very aggressive, and this is actually a very good Lulu player, because Lulu actually is very strong in lane, can harass people very well, but most Lulu players just play very passive and just buff up their ADC, and they don't go ahead and auto attack the enemy ADC / support. But this Lulu is actually playing very aggressive. She's actively looking for opportunities to poke me with her Q and to just auto attack me down, which is a sign that she's a very good Lulu player. So here we're struggling under tower here, just struggling to get CS, and here we are just trying to help our team out by popping the vision plan and ensuring that we spot out enemy vision. Here control ward comes in from the Lulu to remove my vision as well, so I'm back in a situation where I can't see a thing. Now Annie is coming up for the roam, and we're still pinned under tower, so it's a perfect opportunity. Annie channeling the Hex Splash goes in onto Lulu with the ult, with the stun. I full stack onto her. I'm gonna pop the E and get the kill onto her. Exhaust goes down onto Ashe. I'm just auto taking her down. Full stack lethal tempo at this point. Here pop the E. Again, actually just now on the Lulu we didn't actually pop the E, which is why we actually had the E right now. So we were able to take advantage of Annie's knockup and then just kill with an auto. And now with the Ashe low, we were able to pop the E auto and get the kill onto her. So honestly, I have to say that this is not really anything on me or Yumi. It's completely insane roam by the Annie, pushing out her lane and then being able to come over with the ulti to essentially just surprise the Lulu and the Ashe, hitting the ulti onto the Lulu, and we basically more or less one-shot her, and then the Ashe is then put in a difficult situation as well, and does end up dying. So furthermore, the enemy team basically used all of their sums except for Ashe's flash. So now we are still kind of in a very similar situation where we are still kind of in a little bit of trouble. You can see Ashe is still harassing us, and Lulu is also just stealing our fruit. Viego is now coming in. The control ward is still there, of course, so he's gonna have to remove that. But here you can see that we now have 2 kills, and we actually have a decent lead against the Ashe. However, we still don't necessarily want to fight her because, overall we have double dagger versus longsword, which is not exactly a winning combination here. And yeah, so here Annie comes in again. We flash forward to follow up, allowing her to actually get the kill. Now Lulu does have ulti, otherwise she would have actually died there to my E. So another insane Annie roam. This Annie definitely knows what she's doing. She's just roaming and after pushing out lanes. However, now she actually needs to go back because Morgana is actually pushing in the lane, but she's sticking around for a little bit too long. She should be leaving the tower to us, us being me and Yumi. Viego also, for some reason, is inside the enemy jungle. Don't know about that one. Now here I do the stealth into recall trick so that I don't have to walk all the way back since the enemy team is already back in lane. So I'm just going to recall, of course, being picking up the cat before leaving the base. And then we're gonna head back out. And 201 now, in terms of KDA, we're doing pretty well. Almost 1,000 go up on Ashe, despite the fact that we're getting pushed in perma, like you guys can see here. Ashe has actually gotten all of the tower plates already, and we're still having a decent lead against her, just based off of the kills and the assists that we've gotten, which is definitely the kind of spot that we want to be in. Where we are still ahead, even though she's got all the plates. Now they're really trying to force the tower here. Tower is really low, 99 HP on the tower, and here I have to make a decision whether or not I want to save this tower. So here, I'm thinking that they're probably gonna overcommit for the tower just because of how low the tower really is. So I'm thinking that I probably can try to save the tower. Here we're having a game of removing each other's wards. But yeah, so here I go into stealth. I'm popping my ulti. For some reason the ulti auto targets the fruit, but here you can see Yumi pops the ulti as well. We're spam attacking the minions. Ashe actually ults here, which doesn't really matter because I'm under tower, and we actually saved the tower on 12 HP. Now Viego's coming in for a gank. Annie goes in with the ulti, and Lulu has to ult herself again. Viego is now going very, very deep, but don't think he's going to really get anything. Here we're trying to get the tower. Tower is pretty low, so with Annie here as well, we should be able to grab this tower. Morgana in the meanwhile is, you know, just continuing on to push. You can see that because Annie has roamed so much, she's actually fallen behind the Morgana, because Morgana has been able to simply just keep on farming the tower place, farming the minions, and get ahead just based off of mostly farm. But Annie is busy roaming. Now here I tried the same trick again, but I decided it's pretty risky, so I'm actually going to run away. And turns out that was indeed the case. So we are just going to recall here and yeah, go back to base in a safe position. So here we complete our Bork, which is of course going to be a major power spike, and we also have enough for our Nashor's Talon, which is what we're going to get. Yumi actually has the Veil here, which is going to be very useful against you know, things like Morgana's, Root, and Ashe's ulti. Now here we actually stealth because we thought Morgana was inside the jungle. We saw her roam into the jungle, but then she went back to mid lane instantly, so I was actually trying to go in there and see if I can catch her out, but that's not the case. Speaking of catching her out, I assume that she has a ward here, so which is why she actually walked in, but she doesn't seem to be responding to me at all, so I believe she doesn't have a ward. So Annie goes in with the flash stun. We're gonna just ulti finish her off. Knockup comes in, Annie gets the kill, we get another assist, and yeah, so here we're just returning the favor to the Annie, as she has been ganking us. Now we help her get a kill as well, and now both me and Annie 2-0 and 2 with 100% KP because no other kills have really happened. But now we're gonna head back to top and clear out this wave and maybe the next one, and then we can see what happens. No objectives are up currently, obviously, because they've all pretty much been taken. And yeah, so here enemy bot lane is actually pushing mid lane, so we're gonna go roam to mid lane and see if we can do anything about it. Doesn't really look like it. They just push in the minions. Fight breaks out in the bottom side of the map, and here I'm stealthing to actually see if I can catch them recalling, which we almost did, but just not quite. And yeah, double kill comes in here onto the Viego. And yeah, there's not much we can really do at this point, even though we're kind of in the area already. But yeah, nothing much we can really do. Hex Splash coming in from Annie. Doesn't get the stun onto the Morgana. Morgana gets the root onto the Annie, but we are able to finish off the Morgana. Now here, Shyvana is backing in a ward bush, so we're going to stop her, just auto-attack her down, slow her down a little bit. Flash forward, get the last few hits onto her, and Annie finishes off the kill. Pretty KS to be honest, but you know, we'll allow it because Annie has been getting us kills in the early game, so I'm not gonna complain all that much that Annie's taking the kills now, because she did get us fed, and off of that we did have a way better laning phase than what we should have had, where we should have gotten bullied by Ashe and Lulu, which we still did, but we didn't end up behind. We were actually ahead of them in lane, despite the fact that they're bullying us hardcore. So here we want to see if we can make a roam to the Ashe. Here I'm trying to not take the blue buff because Yumi and Annie is going to benefit a lot more, but Yumi is not detaching, Annie is a little bit too far away, so instead we're just going to go grab it ourselves. Yeah, unfortunately because of the like delay by a few seconds there, Ashe and Lulu obviously have ran all the way away back to the tower. Shyvana now goes in onto the Viego. We cancel the recall, but the Viego is able to ult out to safety. Something to note here is that Shyvana also used her ult, and she used it right before Dragon, so we know that at Dragon she's not gonna have her ult. Now Ardent Sensor has been completed by Yumi, which is of course the new buffed Ardent Sensor, so it's gonna give me more attack speed and more on-hit damage. Here I'm going to bot because there's obviously a fight here, and we're gonna see if anything can be done. Annie is going in onto Nasus, she's getting kind of destroyed, so here we're gonna help her out a little bit, popping the Nasus here, but yeah, Annie takes the red buff for some reason, yeah. So the dragon is now going to be spawning. Morgana's trying to steal our jungle camps. We can't allow that, so we're going to take the jungle camps ourselves. And yeah, so now there's a huge wave down here. Our jungler is still dead, so there's no point of going towards the dragon area. We're probably just going to have to give it, which is exactly what we do, because our jungler is not alive. We can't really contest the dragon without our jungle. So instead we're just going to grab farm. Grab jungle farm, grab lane farm. And here, Viego obviously in a warded bush because Morgana is able to hit everything onto him. So the bush obviously has to be warded. We get spotted by the Ashe's Hawk Shot, which is which is kind of a bummer, but it's kind of okay because we're not really planning to make a play anyway. Ashe and Shyvana are making a play on Garen. We're pinging that we're on the way. And yeah, Shyvana spots us, immediately turns around and runs back. Obviously, she doesn't want to chase Garen into the jungle. Now Morgana is getting a little bit caught here. We're popping the ulti and just attacking both Shyvana as well as the Ashe. Here popping the E to kill the Shyvana. Unfortunately, here I get polymorphed by the Lulu, and because of that I end up dying. Ashe does die as well. Lulu is now on the run from the Viego. But yeah, the polymorph there was really unfortunate that that we got polymorph there. So we really need a QSS. Because there's obviously the polymorph, the root from Morgana, the stun from Ashe, and even the wither from Nasus could get us killed if we are not able to remove it. So we really need to get a QSS, which is what we're going to be working towards. Actually, at this point, I would have bought it, but I bought the recurve bow so fast that obviously with Twitch Poison ticking, you are not going to be able to undo and buy something else. So here, not much happening. Annie setting a trap, tries to catch out the Nasus, but Nasus is really tanky. I'm now here to try to help out. And I'm getting caught in a little bit of an awkward position, so I'm trying to reposition. Huge damage from me coming out to everybody, basically. But eventually Ashe flashes over, and with the help of Lulu and Needle Tempo, is able to kill me. And I flashed out, trying to flash out, wasting my flash here. I'm not sure what Viego's trying to do. He's not going to be able to 1v3, so he is just going to die. I mean, I know what he was trying to do, but if he possesses Lulu's body, he gets to kill Lulu and possesses Lulu's body, I don't think he necessarily wins. So yeah, now we're in a very horrible position where 4 people are dead, and the enemy team is now getting all our inhibs. They got mid lane inhib, and I believe they're going to get top lane inhib as well, which is really kind of a horrible situation. But here where we have now respawned, Annie is able to kill the Shyvana. But Shyvana does get the tower, so a trait of Shyvana's life for the tower, I think that's not a very bad trait, because that is a side lane inhib. And here Morgana is now a little bit too far up, gets a blind root onto me, which is pretty lucky of her. And now we're just going to push out the minions, and yeah, now we have a problem, because now we have 2 super minion waves pushing into our base, which is going to cause significant pressure onto our lanes, and that's going to be a problem. So unfortunately, we're just going to have to deal with the problem, but it makes the game a lot harder to play, especially because the lane that's pushed in is the side opposite from Baron. So there's going to be probably situations where we have to stop the minions and give them Baron or something like that, but hopefully that doesn't happen, or doesn't happen too much. Now here we've been spotted by the Squire's Bloom, so unfortunately they know that we're here. So there's not a lot that we can do. Now Viego and Enya are on the top side of the map, so which is kind of the wrong side, and they're not even clearing the wave. Viego's just farming jungle camps. So here I'm gonna go ahead and grab the mid wave. Now I do think that the enemy team is on Baron. I do suspect that they are on Baron, but I'm not really sure. Looks like they're not, because they're actually collapsing instead onto Garen. Now here we can actually help out. So we're just gonna walk to the fight. The ult comes in from the Yuumi. I'm just trying to burst people down. We get the Nasus. We are trying to get the Shyvana. Shyvana's 1 HP. Now here I'm trying to sneak back into the fight and kill the Ashe and the rest of them, but unfortunately again Ashe has way too much attack speed from both the Lulu and her own attack speed, and she actually gets a Penta kill here, which is not a good thing, obviously. So she's now super duper fed. 5 kills in the bag. She went from like 2 and 3 to 8 and 3. Gets 5 kills, and now is up on gold by like about 2k over me, which is not too hot at all. And she basically has the same build as me as of now, but she looks like she's going for Shield Bow as her next item based on the Noon Quiver and the dagger that I see. So yeah, probably that's what she's going for. I complete my Terminus, so huge power spike for me. And now our last inhib goes down. So the enemy team gets the dragon, which honestly at this point is not too consequential because no dragon soul in this game. And here I'm just trying to clear out the top wave. I'm not sure why I'm not panning the camera back to myself. A little bit asleep at the wheel here. But yeah, so here we really just have to deal with all of these waves. The enemy team could be and probably is doing Baron at this point. There we go, we finally panned the camera back to myself. probably doing Baron at this point, but there's really not a lot that we can do. We just have to give it. Surprisingly, the enemy team is not doing Baron. I'm not sure why they aren't. But even if they were, Viego is now on the wrong side of the map, and they're probably going to do it right now. They are doing Baron now, and there's not a lot that we can really do. I'm just going to walk towards this area to see if I can, get a pick or something like that. It's not going to happen. I think I'm just going to walk away probably. I actually go into stealth and just walk away. Yeah, not a lot we can do. Enemy team is going to secure the Baron. We should all kind of be backing off at this point because the enemy team with the Baron is going to be, really hard to deal with. And in case you guys haven't noticed, we have an 8k gold deficit versus the enemy team now. Here, Annie actually gets a huge catch onto the enemy bot lane, and we're going to actually burst them down using the ulti. Shyvana comes in, we're going to blast her as well. Now we have already a full set lethal tempo, so she's going to be easily killed. Morgana now also caught in no man's land, and we actually kill all of them. Huge teamfight win for us. We could actually have gotten the Baron here if not for the fact that Nasus is trying to end the game. So here I'm desperately trying to recall to stop him ending the game. Here he flashes forward, tries to end the game, and he goes in with the stun. I'm just blasting him, he Sterix procs, we're able to kill him. The next wave is coming in from mid, so I'm gonna have to go back there and clear out the wave. So now, of course these waves are horrible, but the one thing that these waves are doing for us is it's giving us insane farm. Like, you really think about it, getting all those super minions, the 120 gold from all the super minions, that farm is kind of nuts. Like, it's a lot of farm. So here I'm just trying to push out the lanes, push out the side lanes. Viego is getting the Baron with the help of Yumi's heals and buffs in the meantime. Does eventually get the Baron. Annie looks like she wants to go into the Baron. I think that my Annie is more useful, outside of the Baron. I think probably should be Garen that goes in the Baron. He's been useless the whole game. He's just been split pushing. He's 0-5. So yeah. So now here, we have the Baron, but we still want to be careful because we have actually, mostly closed up the gold gap. We're actually only like 2k gold behind the enemy team. So we're actually kind of okay. The TX is getting ganged up on by the enemy team, which is a common thing to do if the TX is not getting protected. So we're now in stealth behind the T-Hex, and we've been spotted because of Ashe's Hawkshot, which is a good Hawkshot by the Ashe. Now instead of trying to go for Ashe and Lulu, which we know is probably unsuccessful, we're going to go for Shyvana, because Elder Dragon is now up. So Shyvana's the enemy jungle. We're popping the ulti, and we're going to just run her down basically. Like so, we kill her. And now we get the reset on the Q. We're seeing if we can run anybody else down. Here Ashe is alone without the Lulu. We're trying to kill her quickly before Lulu comes. Unfortunately, we get hit by an Ashe ulti. We kill the Lulu first, and the shield ball of Ashe procs, and we eventually trade 1-for-1 with the Ashe. We kill each other at the exact same time. But I believe because I have a longer, I'm a higher level than Ashe, I have a longer death timer than her. So you can see she's respawning like a good 5 seconds or so faster than me, which is kind of nuts. That's unfair. But anyways, here we have the Wit's End completed. We're building towards the shield bow. Annie is still in the TX, trying to make use of the last remnants of it. Viego is trying to solo the Elder Dragon, or not solo because he has Yumi. He's trying to kill the Elder Dragon. In the meanwhile, Shyvana is now back up, and this is getting very, very risky. Looks like it's going to be a little bit of a flip here. And meanwhile, if you look at both of our side lanes, all the waves are kind of just pushing in, so we really need to stop it as well. Now Shyvana goes in, trying to get the steal, and it's an intense 1v1 inside. And thankfully, my Viego gets the smite. This is probably the most key smite in the game. If he doesn't get this, we'll probably lose the game. Nasus is trying to split push and end. I'm trying to stop him. I know I have Elder buff. I have full stack lethal tempo. I'm going to eviscerate him with the help of my ulti, as well as killing the wave while I'm at it. So here, next wave is coming in. Of course, we want to quickly just push out the next wave. Bot wave is pushing in as well. Mid wave also getting double stacked and now pushing in. I think it might even be triple stacked. So here, I'm not actually full build. I have the shield bow now. So ideally, I don't want to steal all of the farm. However, Garen's wave clear is trash. Viego's wave clear is trash as well. Annie is the only one with decent wave clear. So I'm gonna just clear the waves, just because I think that my team needs the waves to be cleared for them. If not, it's just gonna be a horrible situation. So here I'm now clearing the next wave and the next wave as well. My whole team is now on the other side of the map, so I want to quickly clear the wave and then hex gate over. I was thinking of clearing another wave, Actually, but you can see that the fight is definitely going to break out. You can already see by the fact that Annie's posturing forward and the fact that Ash and Lulu are trying to kill her. So I'm going to quickly take the Hex Gate to join my team in the fight. Now, before I can do that, Viego already dies. Like, yeah, that's kind of trash. But here we still have Elder Buff. We're going to stealth in. They think that they're in a 3v2, but they're actually in a 4v3. And we're going to kill all three of them easily with the Elder Buff. Now, I mean, Twitch full build with the Elder Buff is just... it's just nuts. Now Shyvana is trying to end the game. We're rushing back to stop her. Nasus is coming as well. We exhaust her, kill her. Nasus is now coming, trying to end the game. Gets a bug, is not able to do so. Thankfully the minions died, and because of that he's not actually able to end the game. So instead we're now going to try to push out, and now everybody on the enemy team is dead. So I'm thinking that this is a possible end angle. However, you look at this wave here. This wave is going to end the game for us if I don't clear it. So I have no choice. I'm going to have to come here and clear the wave. And Garen and Annie in the meanwhile are now pushing in now. But without me there, I don't think we can end the game. I think we can get inhibs at best. And if you look at the respawn, the 3 people I killed in bot are going to respawn in a few seconds. So at most we can get inhib and then we can back off. But let's take a look at what's going on here. So unfortunately, my team, I don't know what they're trying to do here, but they're sticking around in the base. Annie is proto-building in, gets stunned, gets one shot, which is not what we want. And Garen does eventually get the tower and is able to run away. So we do get 2 inhibs, which is going to relieve the pressure on 2 lanes. And all 3 of our inhibs have actually respawned. So now the enemy team is now stuck in the situation that we were in, where they have 2 lanes of no inhibitors, and now we have 3 lanes of inhibitors. Now Shyvana here is going in hardcore onto the Garen for some reason. I'm going to ulti, and because Nasus is in front of me, I'm going to have to get rid of him first, which is exactly what I do. I spot the opportunity to go in for more. I'm going to flash in, going for the Lulu and the Ashe here, but I'm not quite able to get it. Now Morgana goes in. I'm just going to QSS out of the roots, and wow, the damage is insane there from the Morgana. Now here everybody's dead except Ashe and Shyvana. Now we have waves to end, so Shyvana has to come back to stop us. We lifesteal back to full very easily with our lifesteal as well as with Yuumi, and now Ashe is trying to stop us. Obviously Garen is going in onto the Ashe, and we are able to finally end the game. So there we have it. I'm going to leave you guys with the stats as usual. Thank you guys so much for watching the video, and goodbye.